Welcome to Endurance Noise Live. It's Friday, August 14th, 3:30 here in Bakersfield, California. Just got done watching the Monaco track meet. Pretty phenomenal meet. It was kind of cool to actually see a track meet like the old days. There's people in the stands, athletes, full fields. So the meet started off, I was watching on the NBC, of course, their coverage on there, the NBC, whatever it is, sports channel. And it's weird, like when there's a commercial break, I guess it goes blank. And, you know, they just think they just leave the cameras rolling. And sometimes they do, and you can hear people talking in the background, like the announcers and stuff. But neither here nor there. Let's start it off. There was an 800, Donovan Brazier, who won the World Championships last year, headed to the Monaco Diamond League and won that. He ran a 1:43.15, and Bryce Hoppel ran 1:43.23 to be right there. He moved ahead of Boris Bryan for number 7 on the all-time list. Bryce Hoppel went to Kansas, and so it's pretty impressive to see. You know, the all-time list is Donovan at 1:42.34, Johnny Gray, which that record had been around since the 80s, with 1:42.60, Dwayne Solomon 1:42.82, Clayton Murphy, who's running right now, still running. He was in the race actually in the 1500, 1:42.93, Nick Simmons 1:42.95, Mark Everett 1:43.20, and now Bryce Hoppel. And one of the things they were saying on Twitter was that this is Bryce Hoppel's first race in 6 months and his first Diamond League ever. A seriously great performance for the Texas native. That's very impressive. I mean, he came in 4th at the World Championships, and that was after a super long season with Kansas. You know, he ran indoor track, and he also had outdoor track where he was undefeated, I believe. So very impressive for him. Really big hopes for him in 2021 in Tokyo. Another stacked race was the women's 5,000. Safan Hussein, who last year won the 1,500 10,000 double for the first time ever in World Championships, and I think in the Olympics too. She dropped out at 5,000. She didn't run the 5,000 because he couldn't do the 5,000 10,000 last year in Doha. But, you know, with like maybe a mile to go, she was hanging in the back of the lead group, and then just the announcer said something about how she wasn't looking too good. And next thing you know, she's walking off the track. So I think it was her first race back. So definitely, who knows what's going on there. So it was Helen O'Brien, who is won World Championships. She ran 14:22.12 and set a new mate record at the Monaco Diamond League. This was the race-winning move, and the race-winning move was she was chased after the Ethiopian, and on the backstretch, she passed her on the inside lane. You know, that's such a rookie mistake. You know, you're talking about, you know, world-class athletes here, and, you know, when you're a runner, I mean, I started running track as a sophomore in high school, and you always told you don't get passed by letting someone go through the inside lane. So that was kind of interesting. And so she had that great pass with 200 yards to go. It was also a fantastic day for Jessica Hall, who set an Aussie record, and she had a definitely difficult time getting to Europe. They were talking about it on the telecast, you know, and she was, of course, ran for Oregon. And then Shannon Rowberry ran 14:45. Only 4 Americans have run faster, and it was interesting. In the coverage, you didn't hear anything about Shannon after the finish of the race. Sort of a non-distance related, but I really enjoy watching this guy. Carson Warholm is crushing. He won the 400 meters hurdles in 47:10. His PR is 46:92. This is his second fastest performance. Just phenomenal. Kevin Young still holds the world record of 46:78 from 1992. Wow, that's a long time ago. My first son was born in 1992. So I think he's definitely going to get it. It's amazing watching him and the Ingerson brothers, the 3, and really doing great. Then there was a great 1,500 meter race for the men. It was kind of a showdown with Chariot from Kenya and Jacob Ingerson, who's only 19 years old. Earlier this summer, they had like this virtual meet where Jacob was running in Norway, and Tim was running in Kenya. And of course, you know, Kenya's like at 7,000 feet, and Jacob won. Well, this time around, Jacob came close second. He runs a European record of 3:28.68 to move 8th on the world all-time list. Just amazing performance. And then Reitman, an Englishman, joins Farah Kramko in Great Britain's sub 330 club. So like I said, just an amazing. I'm so glad I watched this live. Cheptegei was also what I talked about in the previous preview podcast for this. He had said he was going to break the world record in the 5K. He did an 80-hour trip from Uganda, which included the Ugandan president getting him a chartered flight. And he gets there to Monaco. Conditions weren't the greatest. They were talking about the humidity, and went out and had some pacers for like the first 2,000 meters, and then he basically took it on his own. And it's interesting just to watch the, and I was saying the same thing, watching Twitter coverage, and it says he needs a 2:01 last 800 to break the world record. He can do this. And then someone else put, he's gonna fucking do it. And that was a guy from Sports Illustrated. And and then it was like, my goodness, he's going to break the Kenyan Bekele's world record. And he ended up breaking Bekele's 5,000 world record, which has been around for 16 years, 2 months, and 14 days, longer than any 5,000 world record in history. And it was broken by Joshua is the new king. And then some more comments about it said, look at the consistency in the second half. Once the human pacer stepped off, he just followed the Wavelight pacing technology. Deserves a hearty effort. And there's they have like these little green dots going around, and it'll show you if you're on pace, whether or not he was actually following that, but he just was like a metronome. And then, of course, some people commented on the fact of how terrible NBC Sports Gold was. Someone wrote, we can watch 3,000 laps for NASCAR, but not 13 minutes of 5K. And then, of course, Bekele congratulated Tim on breaking the record, Joshua, I mean, and I saw it on Instagram, and beat it by 2 seconds, and that's the pace the guy was running was 14.8 miles an hour, or for the rest of the world, 23.84 kilometers for 12 and a half minutes of running. Man, almost 15 miles an hour. Interesting, we're talking about the Ugandan trains often in Uganda, and there's only one 400-meter track in the entire country. Tartan, and he says most of the work he does is on a grass track, and it's egg-shaped, and it's 415 meters, so it's extra long, egg-shaped, behind a school, and there's a 2-meter difference between the track's highest and lowest elevation. And, that's a 6-7 foot hill, but, goes to show you, get it done. So when he's on a track, he must just be in heaven. And then it says, can't believe they gave us this awful camera angle for the finish. Note to directors, if someone's going to break a world record, go with the wide shot so we can see the finish line. Yeah, it was really confusing. You almost thought he was like on the back stretch because they were using that back stretch camera, but they were using that as he was coming down the home straight. And even like when he finished, they weren't flashing. The numbers didn't have the world record on the bottom. It had like the world leading record. Like, who the hell cares? Especially this year, there wasn't very many people running it. So very exciting. Some context for the 12:35:36. That's 60.43 per 400, 403.07 per mile, and he ran 7:33:21 for the 3,000, plus another 2,000. And crazy enough, only 5 Americans have run faster than 7:31:21 for the 3,000. Some other kind of highlights. So his last 6 laps were a thing of beauty. It was 60.03, 60.10, 60.18, 60.33, 5997, 5964, and then he ran the last 1,604 minutes, 4 flat, basically. Very good. So if you missed it, I'm sure you can find it on the YouTubes and find some of the race coverage. Tomorrow, there's going to be a track meet in America. Nick Willis, Emma Colburn, Corey McGee, Morgan McDonald will be competing at the Music City Distance Carnival on Saturday. And there's also going to be some coverage. If you go on Let's Run, you can see where to watch it for tomorrow. So you've been listening to the Endurance Noise Live. And as always, stay healthy, be boring, not epic.